Hey, what's up, everybody? You're listening to Classic Kiss, presented by The Sound Check. We got a great episode for you today. We're going to be covering Rock and Roll Over from Kiss. It is the 5th studio album. And yeah, as always, I got my two co-hosts with me. Tyler right here.
What's up, everybody?
And then Bo over to the left.
How's it going, everyone?
Alrighty. I guess I'll go ahead and just get into the basics of it. So we got, all right, like I said, it is the 5th studio album from Kiss. It's their follow-up to Destroyer. This album, Rock and Roll Over, was released on November 11th, 1976 from Casablanca Records. They're still with Casablanca at this point. Even though there were some tensions before Destroyer. And so this, obviously, Destroyer helped seal those, those cracks, I guess you could say, for the time being, at least. And yeah, it was recorded at Star Theater, Nanuet, New York, during the months of September and October of 1976. And I think you had said that you thought you heard from somebody, or somebody had said that they recorded some of this album at the record plant. I can't remember.
I think what it was as I'm thinking about it, they did the engineering, like all the mixing and stuff after the fact at the record plant.
Yeah.
And they did the recording at the
that
theater.
Makes sense.
I think that's what it was.
That's definitely plausible. So yeah, and produced by Eddie Kramer, who obviously did their demo and their one of their recent successes of Alive, their live album, which we covered in episode 4, and engineered by Corky Stasiak, who also helped engineer on Destroyer. So working with some familiar faces for this. And what's really cool is I kind of just made this connection in my head. There was kind of two paths that Kiss could have taken after Destroyer. They could have kept going in the more pop mainstream realm,
like kind of artsy stuff.
Yeah, artsy stuff, a little bit more sing-songy, more anthemic, and stuff like that. I don't even know if that's how you say it, but there's more like anthem type of music that you heard on Destroyer. Or they could go and try and kind of, go back to their roots a little bit and grab that hardcore fan base that they kind of alienated with Destroyer at first, because I think we even talked about it last week, how Destroyer kind of, it did alienate a portion of their fan base who had been there from the beginning.
Yeah.
They thought it was a little too mainstream.
Yeah. It gave them that, like you said, it gave them more mainstream success. It brought in a wider audience, but the people that were already kind of there just didn't like it as much.
Yeah. And I think you were actually the one that brought that up last week, of how it kind of not alienated, but just, set a bad taste in the OG fans, I guess you could say. It was one of you guys. I thought it was Bo, but
I think it was, but honestly, I have no idea.
Yeah, I can't even remember what I did fucking yesterday. So, and
Lots
then,
of
yeah,
well, someone did, and we're going to get into that in a minute.
Right. But yeah, so what's cool is that they definitely went back to their roots on this album. But what's interesting is they went back to their roots, and it was produced by Eddie Kramer. So obviously they're definitely going back to their roots in the sense that he did their demo before their first album. And then he also did Alive, which was a conglomeration of all of their best songs off of the first 3 albums. But then they also used Corky Stasiak, who helped them on Destroyer. So they did kind of keep something from Destroyer.
Right.
And honestly, you can hear some stuff from Destroyer, like not exact ripoffs, but styles of Peter's drumming and stuff in this album. You can hear him kind of take some of that he learned in the Destroyer sessions and bring it over to this album, which I thought was really cool.
Yeah.
And yeah, so that, I don't know, that was just something that I kind of made the connection of, they do have somebody from their roots, and then also they still kept an engineer from the Destroyer sessions who could help get them that big feel, because this album does have a pretty solid mixing on it. It has solid mixing on it. Really good sounds, guitar wise and drum wise. I think this is probably the best studio album outside of Destroyer that has like of how well the drums are mixed and everything like that.
Depending on who you ask, I guess.
Oh yeah, we'll have to get into that too here in a sec.
Jesus Christ.
I'm just gonna run through these real quick. So I just have like bullet points on my little notes tab. Basically, we have there was only 2 singles from this album. You have Hard Luck Woman, which was released on November 1st, so about a week and a couple days before the actual release of the album, which that's kind of short, I feel like. I don't know.
Yeah, no, that kind of feels like short notice.
And then that charted in the top 20, I believe, on the Billboard chart system, which is pretty awesome because it is one of their technical hits.
Right.
And then Dr. Love was their second single, which was released on February 13th, 1977. So almost 3 or 4 months after,
right.
The album was actually released. And that one also did well. And I thought I read somewhere that actually charted up, like it peaked at 16 or something.
Really?
Which is really interesting.
Didn't realize that. I mean, makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense. And I don't know if that's completely true because I think I just read it in like a Loudwire article. So who knows, if they had like there was just something that was mistyped or something, because it when I read it, it said that Dr. Love charted higher than Hard Luck Woman. And I was like, I kind of find that hard to believe. I don't know if
that one's true.
So yeah, so that's why I'm just like, it's a possibility that it did, right. I'll just throw it out there. But yeah, so that one was released in February of the latter year of 1977, or the former of the year. But yeah, some interesting facts of the recording, and I know you talked about it, was that they actually put Peter's drum set into a bathroom to get the proper drum sound that they wanted for this album. And if you want to talk a little bit about that, I know Paul had a few choice words to say in his book.
Jesus Christ, yeah. So, okay, because I know Ace had mentioned in No Regrets that they put Peter in the bathroom.
Right.
Peter in his autobiography says the same thing.
Yeah.
Paul, okay, I feel bad. I'm going to preface again, as I've said before on multiple episodes. I wasn't there. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm just going to run off the information I have present. And
right.
if it doesn't line up, I'm going to call it out.
Mm-hmm.
Paul's book is a little hard to get through sometimes, even though it's the best written of the books.
Yeah.
But Paul says that they put him in the main like theater room on the stage.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
But I mean, Ace and Peter's stories line up better than Paul's does.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I don't have any other source corroborating what Paul says.
Right. Maybe you could find something that Eddie Kramer says, or maybe for like a take or two or some, here or there, they put him in a different room, but
right. And it might have even just been like, oh, maybe it was like this one song we put him in the theater. And, he was in the bathroom for these other ones.
Right.
But I guess, because they all mentioned that they had a video link set up. So like they basically had a monitor with a camera so that he could see them and hear them.
Right.
And like they'd be able to communicate between takes and stuff.
Yeah.
And Peter he'd basically in between takes knock the camera a little bit so it couldn't see him, take a bump. And then he'd be like, oh, hang on, I'm having difficulties. And he'd like shake it. And he's like, okay, it's fine.
That's amazing.
Yeah. Granted, that's from Peter's book. From what I've heard from people who were there for a lot of the things in his book, his might be the least trustworthy of the 4 autobiographies, but it's still fun all the same. It just made me laugh.
Yeah.
I guess he also, the first day of recording, the night before, Peter just went, I'm gonna get fucked up. So he just copious amounts of cocaine and just didn't show up to the first day of recording.
Oh my God. So drugs is part of this album is what you're saying. And I'm sure Ace took part in those said drugs as well.
Depends on who you ask.
Yeah.
But they very much went back to the classic themes of rock of sex, drugs, and rock and roll.
Literally. Yeah, man. But yeah, so I'm glad you did bring up that video part because that was definitely something that I seen today when I was researching some stuff before the episode. And
I'm also dumb. You prompted me and I skipped right over it. What Paul said about fucking Peter. I skipped right over it. I wasn't even thinking about it. I didn't tell you this. I told Garrett yesterday at work. Apparently in Paul's book, good Lord. Okay, so I mentioned Paul's book is a little hard to read sometimes because it is the best written in terms of like his writing and just how he tells the information. Wow, he talks a lot of shit. Mm-hmm. It's hard to read.
And one thing is like Tyler, when he told me, Tyler and I talked, and it's like, I haven't read all of the books. I've read all of No Regrets, and I've actually read it like almost twice through now. But I don't own any of the other ones, but I've seen a lot of quotes from those books. Mm-hmm. And I've heard that like throughout Ace's book, he doesn't really throw any digs at Peter because him and Peter were always kind of buddies. Maybe here and there, just like a small little dig. He's thrown a few digs at Paul, but then his main gripe is with Gene throughout his book. And I feel like it's weird because like he covers like Gene being an ass sometimes and just being like super uptight and not having fun as much as he should and all this different stuff. He covers that in like a little bit of the book, but he doesn't focus
solely on that.
He doesn't focus solely on that, and he doesn't focus a bunch like a page or 2 pages or 3 pages on that. He'll have like little subtle digs here and there that are kind of out of the blue that you're like, oh shit, haha, that was kind of funny, or you're like, why'd you even say that? You didn't need to say it. But like from what I'm hearing, Ty says that Paul's book is like super Paul's
is a lot, and because like I've read all of Gene's also because I've read No Regrets and Kiss and Make Up.
Yes,
and Gene's is kind of the same way as No Regrets is, where it doesn't feel like he's overtly going out of his way to talk shit. It just kind of feels like two guys got into an argument and like
he is telling his side of the story
a little bit. Yeah. So like it doesn't at any point really seem like he hates Ace. It just, he has moments where he's like,
they just
fuck that guy. But it never comes off as like, oh, fuck him.
Yeah.
They just didn't get along, obviously.
Right. Exactly. Well, and because like, I guess now they have a really good relationship.
They really do. I think they have the best relationship out of the 4 original members right now.
Which is just crazy.
Probably true.
Because, and I'm not even going to lie, it's kind of weird because for some reason, and this is just me speculating. I like your shirt, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
Ty is wearing like a tie-dye red and like blackish shirt that has the rock and roll over just the cartoon part of them on, which looks really cool. I don't know if it's, and I kind of talked to him about it, and I won't like cover the whole thing. I feel like Gene and Paul, and this is just an outsider looking in, obviously I don't know the details of their lives and shit like that. I don't know what they do in their free time or whatever. Obviously they both have families and whatnot, but it seems like they're farther apart now than they ever were. And that obviously has to do with COVID and all this different shit that we're in right now. Mm-hmm. And I hate talking about it because everybody talks about it.
Right.
But everybody knows what's going on. But like to me, and even like in recent years of concerts, like it just seems to me like Gene and Paul like are just doing it because they kind of have to, or they're like dealing with each other because at this point they have to. Whereas back in the day, it seemed like they really were like blood brothers and like always with each other, always.
And now it just kind of feels like they're partners. They're not really like friends anymore.
Yeah. Which I'm sure they're friends, but it's just like, I don't know. But it's interesting because Gene and Ace are like, even though like hearing an interview or something like that will get released on YouTube or on a website every once in a while, they'll throw like a dig at each other. They're still like hanging out and like writing music together.
Yeah, I guess for Ace's most recent album that wasn't Origins Volume 2, because that just came out a couple months ago. This is one that came out in 2018, I think. Was that
the Space Invader? No.
Space Invader was 2014. I think it was just called Spaceman, actually.
It could be.
I can't remember it, but the cover's purple. It's a purple cover with him actually on it. But I'm pretty sure Gene co-wrote like 3 or 4 of the songs for that album.
Yeah, it's called Spaceman.
Okay.
Yeah, no, he definitely co-wrote a couple of songs. And that's the thing is it's like, I think he even did a couple of vault shows with Ace that you can find on YouTube.
I think so. Yeah, I think so.
But
It's the thing show.
God, I was gonna say it too, but it's interesting because I feel like they're two guys who they didn't. It's not like they hated each other. It's just you have one guy who's like very by the book in Gene and likes to be like very organized and stuff, and then you have Ace, who's very
not by the book,
just kind of carefree, like just wants to chill and all that. And there's nothing wrong with either, like, personality type, but then also Ace drugs.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Oh, you're good. I mean, I was interrupting you.
No, you're good.
I mean, even just, it's one thing for them to be so different, work together, get along and stuff.
Yeah.
When you have to spend that much time cramped in a very small space with someone who is a very polar opposite from you, it's gonna grind on.
Yeah. And I think that's why they have such a good relationship now, is because Ace has been sober for 10 plus years at this point.
Yeah, I think we're coming up on like 15 years or some shit.
And it's, kudos to him, because, man, like, he was bad, especially with alcohol.
Yeah.
I mean, I was surprised, like, that he was able to kick alcohol. But, I mean, my thing is it's just nice to see that, but for some reason I feel like Paul still has like just a little bit, I don't know if it's resentment or just not even hatred, but just I guess it is resentment, because it's something that like you can resent a person but not like personally hate them, or like you can just get annoyed by somebody without personally hating them.
Right.
And so I think he just has some type of weird beef with Peter still, and maybe Ace a little bit too.
I kind of think so too. And in his book,
yeah, and I want you to get back to your point, because we keep,
we're extending the same point.
Yeah.
But I will finish that thought, but the resentment thing really made me think of kind of the way I think it should be described. Is there is a portion in Paul's book where he's talking about this sort of like time period with Rock and Roll Over and stuff, and it really kind of seems like he's not as much trying to throw shit at them as he is just like, this is how I feel about it. And it kind of comes off more as like he feels like they resent him and Gene.
Yeah.
And so
it's like he's coming in a place of, I'm defending myself or
a
something.
little bit.
Yeah.
And like I get where he's coming from, don't get me wrong, because I'm sure, especially after hearing some of the stories, and it kind of makes me sad. Paul corroborates a little bit of what a couple of stories Gene has that make me a little sad to hear.
Yeah.
But Paul even goes as far to like basically call them anti-Semites.
Yeah.
Because Gene and Paul are of course Jewish.
Yeah.
And I really don't know how true that is. Maybe from his perspective it is true.
Yeah. And I know you had told me a couple stories, which we don't have to cover because they are a little bit bothersome.
I just, my view, I'd like to keep them out just because I want to cover as much of what's happening.
Anybody who's listening, you can go online and look them up. But this is the thing, is like you said, I wasn't there, so I can't say it's true or not true.
Exactly. And so that's what I'm saying, like hearing the story from one source and then hearing it from Paul as another source.
Yeah.
Really makes me sad that it might be true.
Right.
But
exactly.
I don't know. I wasn't there. I'm just going to choose.
And who knows? They could have, embellished it or,
and especially
over exaggerated it.
Yeah.
Just
and
for
especially at the time,
grabbing the headline type thing.
Right. And because Gene's book came out right after the farewell tour.
Right.
So I'm sure they were a little upset with the other guys.
Yeah.
And then, Paul's book came out after. So even if it didn't happen necessarily to the extent, it could have still happened, but them just feeling it meant something else, and I don't want to try to defend that. Yeah. Anti-Semitism's wrong. Exactly, I'm sorry, but
definitely. No, it really is. And that's the thing, is it's like, if these things are true, it definitely shatters my heart.
Yeah.
But the thing is Paul has been known to lie and embellish stuff just as much as anybody else. So it's like,
well, I mean, look at the egos of the four guys in the band.
Literally.
Of course they're going.
Right. What were you saying, Bo? Sorry.
All I know is it's time to read his book because I have it. I just have it.
Oh, do you really?
Yeah.
Dude, I'm not joking. The writing in it is fantastic. It takes me out of how good it's written when I hear him talking shit about them. So I'm gonna loop back around to this point that I've been trying to make for the last 10 minutes because I can't get my brain.
It's me too interrupting, but
so it's been a while since we talked about this point, but like I said they put Peter in the bathroom. Paul says they put Peter on the stage in the theater. There's literally a whole paragraph that's almost half a fucking page where he's basically just talking shit about how bad a drummer Peter is. And he's just like, we had problems with our drum sound on previous records where like, it sounded tiny. It just wasn't really there. So like we were kind of hoping, this environment and having Eddie would kind of really like help fix our drum sound. And if you put,
and just for reference, obvious, I think we talked about it on the Alive episode, but Eddie did Eddie did a lot of work with Led Zeppelin.
Right.
So that's where he comes. He did a lot of stuff on, or I think he engineered and produced all of it, Led Zeppelin 2.
Right. And of course, the guys in Kiss are all heavy Zeppelin influenced, but especially Paul.
Yes.
And so I'm going to paraphrase what he said, but I'm going to try to keep as much of it as I can remember the same. But he basically pretty much is trying to compare Peter to John Bonham. And he says, if you put chimpanzees in a room long enough, eventually they'll be able to bang out a good song anyway. But I kind of realized during this whole thing that we're never going to have that John Bonham sound because Peter's not John Bonham and he's just not that good. I was like, that's kind of shitty.
Shit.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And I mean, like, don't get me wrong. There's arguments of whether or not you think Peter's good, whatever, blah, blah, blah. I don't care. You can't just outright compare two people like that.
Yeah.
That's like trying to compare anyone to Hendrix, dude. Like, they're not the same.
There's no two guitar players that are the same. No matter how hard Tommy tries to be Ace. I'm just kidding.
Well, I mean, you can even use Gene's fucking direct quote from the Hall of Fame induction. Often duplicated, or I'm stupid. Hey, there's my flub we can make fun of now. Often replicated, never duplicated.
That's amazing.
Or imitated. I can't even get it right.
I was just gonna let it slide, but
someone put a gun in my mouth.
Jesus. No, that's what irritates me about that. I know you're paraphrasing, so it's not an exact quote, but the sentiment is there. You know what I mean? To me, that's like to come at somebody who was very integral in the success of Kiss. Like, that's the thing is don't talk shit about Ace's guitar playing. Don't talk shit about, Gene's bass playing. Don't talk shit about Paul's singing and rhythm, and don't talk shit about Peter's drums, because you four are what made Kiss.
Yeah. If you take any,
global phenomenon.
Yeah. If you take any part of them away, they're not the same.
Exactly. And that's what irritates me is it's like, and maybe that's the way he was saying it was like, I finally realized like, we're not going to get that Bonham sound because Peter's not Bonham. But then
maybe it just comes off wrong.
Maybe it comes off wrong. But if you're sitting there in the paragraph saying that he's not, and I know you're paraphrasing, but insinuating that he's not a good drummer or not up to par. It's like, dude, I'm sorry, but in my humble opinion, I love John Bonham, and he's my favorite drummer of all time because I'm a huge Zeppelin fan. Nobody is going to get that Bonham snare sound because they're exactly that. They're not Bonham, and that's not trying to be a shitty person. It's just you're not going to be able to hit the snare the same exact way that he hit that snare drum. It doesn't matter how you mic it. I mean, it does matter to an extent, but at the end of the conversation, at the end of the take, what makes a sound a good sound is the performance, not anything that you're going to do in post, whether it's mixing, and all that different stuff, or mic placement. Mic placement does have a lot to do with it, but like it's the performance. And that's what irritates me is like, you can't sit here and be like, oh, well, we couldn't get the Bonham sound because Peter. And it's like, okay, well, don't blame him because he's not John Bonham. What the fuck do you want him to do?
Yeah, who are you going to put in there? Fucking Neil Peart? Yeah. Like, he's not going to get the same sound either, dude.
Exactly.
And Neil Peart's regarded as one of the best fucking drummers that's ever lived.
Literally. You're just not going to get that sound because he's not John Bonham. And and that's what, listening to it now, it's like, I hope that's what he meant. Was like, you're not going to get the sound because nobody's John Bonham.
Right.
But if you're insinuating that Peter is a bad drummer, and he's a bad drummer for not being able to imitate that sound or recreate that sound. Because I know that's like one of the reasons why Paul wanted, or they got Eddie, because didn't you say they went through 2 other people? Like they wanted to go to, what was his name?
I actually have his name in my notes, but I don't remember it offhand. It's like Jack Douglas, something like that.
Jack Douglas. And because he did some stuff. I think he was like,
he did
Bob Ezrin's like mentor, wasn't he? Or was it the other way around? I don't actually know
if it goes that deep.
I think it was the other way around. Because I've heard Bob Ezrin talk about Jack Douglas before.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, because I know they're friends. I just don't know like how far the relationship goes.
Yeah.
But I know that they asked, or according to Paul, at least, they asked Jack Douglas first, and he had just done Get Your Wings, Toys in the Attic, and Rocks by Aerosmith. And apparently he turned around and told Bob. And I guess this caused like a big stink between the band and Bob for a while, which is why we don't see him back until The Elder.
Right. And he came back just to sabotage their career. Just kidding. I'm messing.
Geez, close. You know what? We'll talk about that in the next couple weeks to come up, but Jesus Christ, after listening to Unmasked again, I'd rather listen to The Elder.
Right.
But,
we'll get to it. But so they got Eddie, and one of the things that Paul wanted from Eddie was to get that John Bonham snare drum and like just overall drum sound. And it's like, that's not Eddie who's getting that. That's John Bonham who's doing that, you know? So it's like, it just kind of irritates me that he would go to that length, because even then, even throughout Ace's book, I never really, he may have like commented on Gene's bass playing, and maybe he's called it lazy here and there, but he didn't say that it was bad. You know what I mean? Lazy doesn't mean bad. It just means that you're, and even then, like there's some songs where it does sound like it's lazy, you know?
Well, and especially, I mean, I know he wasn't as dedicated to the band at that point, but especially if we look at some of their later 80s stuff, his bass playing is kind of lazy.
Yeah. But that's just, I feel like that's just a testament to them not really enjoying the music as much.
A little bit. And I mean, at that point, he was also moving on to try to like do some acting and stuff. So, I mean, he wasn't focused on the band
at all. And so, I don't know. To me, it's just like, to come at one of the original 4 members, like if you're an original 4 member and then to go at one of your bandmates who's also part of the original 4 and be like, oh, well, this dude's not good. It's like, dude, just stop. Like that's shitty. That's like a low blow to go after somebody's musicianship, you know, in a band that literally all 4 people are equally responsible for helping take to new heights, especially with Peter singing Beth. You know what I mean?
Right. Well, and because like he even mentioned something about Ace in there specifically regarding this album. So it, you know, it's nice that I have this step to bring it up.
Right.
Where he even, I think it almost shows a testament to how good Ace really is, because he doesn't talk shit about him the same way he does Peter, where he tries to, and you can kind of tell it's a little more forced, because he even kind of says something along the lines of like, Ace was good, and like he had the potential to be one of the all-time greats and like be as good as he thought he was.
Right.
But the coke stopped him.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, like at least you're acknowledging like,
yeah,
you know,
Definitely.
This is important, but
yeah,
I just don't know, man.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm just gonna go ahead because this has been kind of sad so far.
Yeah, it's a depressing episode. Jesus.
Yeah, I'm just gonna,
this is gonna be one of my favorite albums.
I love this album to death, but good Lord, we got depressing for a minute.
Well, I mean,
we're finally starting to show like how the band is starting to break up at this point. So
definitely,
I mean, it is a very depressing thing to watch,
right?
Yeah.
And he has a point that I'm glad you brought that up. If you want to just kind of segue into that little story about Peter, or we already covered it, didn't we? About Peter not showing up, or we mentioned it in passing.
I have a couple like other little tidbits with Peter and kind of the division happening there.
Okay. I mean, if you want to go ahead and just rattle them off, we're almost 30 minutes into the episode. We haven't even gotten to the artwork.
I didn't even think we were going to get the episode to be 30 minutes. But we apparently there was one time where they're all in the studio. Peter is of course a little coked up.
Yeah.
And they got into an argument, and he just grabbed Paul's 12-string guitar and obliterated it.
No,
just full on. Just.
Do you know if this was before or after they recorded Hard Luck Woman?
I don't know.
Dude, that's
yeah.
fucked.
I kind of wish there was some visual there.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, dude, that's one thing that I wish we had more of was like videos and like pictures of them in the studio.
Yeah.
There's like Kiss like official photography books that they released way back in the day. I think they called them Kiss Black books that have like a shit ton of pictures and stuff in them, but they're so hard to find nowadays because they only released them like for a limited time, you know?
Yeah.
You can find stuff on Google, but just not much, you know?
Yeah. So there was that one. I guess Peter and Gene got into an argument one day during, of course, still Peter a little coked out. I actually made a note so I could kind of remember what he said, but I guess Gene snapped at him. And I guess he tried to say something along the lines of, you're an illiterate idiot who can't speak and you never finished school. And
Jesus.
And Peter retorted with, yeah, and I'm in the same band as you.
That's amazing.
To which Paul said, that's the smartest thing I've ever heard Peter say.
That is hilarious. Holy shit. That's probably one of my favorite fucking stories now.
That's such a good one.
Oh my God. That's like the most Peter thing to say. I'm in the same band as you.
And like, it seems like such a non-committal insult.
Yeah.
But like, it's such a good dig. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just like, it literally, it almost just feels like your mom. But
Right.
like,
Literally.
it just works so well. It's so funny. There was a little bit of like, I wish I could remember the source where I found this, because I tried to go back and watch where I thought it was and I couldn't find it.
Really?
But specifically for this album, I have a memory of watching an interview with Bob Kulick where he claims that he did the guitar work on this album.
Dude, I feel like I've seen that too, maybe on YouTube somewhere.
Yeah,
I know there's an interview that I've seen
on YouTube,
with him.
and I thought it was in the When Kiss Ruled the World section. But it's not, because I went back and watched it a couple weeks ago and it's not in there.
Wow.
And so
maybe is it because they did a couple documentaries on VH1. They did When Kiss Ruled the World, and then there's like Behind the Makeup.
Oh, it might have been that
There's one of those in there. And then there's also the like World's Greatest Albums that they had a live on or whatever.
Right.
Or World's Greatest Live Albums, something like that. But yeah, That could be it. It may be one of the other two, or definitely not alive. But.
Right. And because I remember this vividly, but I couldn't find the source for it. And that's the thing that kind of annoyed me is the more I've thought about it, the more I'm just kind of like, I mean, we have evidence to support which albums Bob did work on, and this isn't one of them.
I was going to say, I have not seen anything.
No, and because like even Gene and Paul like have said, no, he didn't do Rock and Roll Over, he did these.
Right.
And so like, I mean, we can confirm he didn't do this album.
Yeah, and I feel like Gene and Paul are really good on their recollection of what happened during the albums, obviously, because they were sober.
Right.
Know?
Well, and especially, I feel like if he did, Paul would have mentioned it in his book.
Right.
Because, like, he even does mention, after he says, like, Ace could have been one of the all-time greats, but, you know, the coke.
Yeah.
And he even says, like, there were times where we struggled to get a good solo out of him before he'd pass out.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, I feel like that would have been the opportunity for him to just say, so we had to bring Bob in to finish his shit.
Right.
You know, but he doesn't.
Right.
And so, like, that's why I feel like that can't be true. Because, let's be honest, now Paul wouldn't have a problem admitting that. You know, I mean, the stuff's in the past. They've made their mark. It doesn't matter anymore.
Right. Yeah, see, even on the personnel page, granted, it's Wikipedia, but Wikipedia is usually pretty decent these days on, like, correcting their shit. Not saying every single thing is true, but it says that it doesn't have anything about Bob on here.
Yeah. So I don't know why that was a thing. You know what I mean? It like, I don't know.
Right.
But the thing that made me think of that was a different point that I have in my notes that, I guess it was one thing that kind of annoyed Paul with this album was Eddie didn't really help with any of the arrangements.
Yeah.
Kind of like, you know, I mean,
Bob did.
Yeah. If you look at Destroyer, I mean, we even mentioned it last week. Bob's fingerprints are all over the album.
Oh, yeah.
You know, he does a lot of the composition for like the strings and the pipes and stuff.
That's just as much a Bob Ezrin album as it is a Kiss album.
Right.
You know?
So I guess Paul kind of had moments where he, you know, he didn't have some of the material that he wanted. So he and Sean Delaney, teamed up and wrote some of the songs for this record, and they did Making Love, Mr. Speed, and Take Me.
Yes, yep.
And then they also did All American Man, which comes up on Alive 2.
Really? Okay. I was gonna say I knew Sean. Sean is like the 5th member of Kiss, and we may have covered him in the earlier episodes. I can't remember.
I know we mentioned him, but I don't know how in depth we went with.
But he's was it Bill Aucoin's partner?
Yes.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Which was actually something I only found out like in the last 2 years. I didn't know they were gay.
Yeah, neither did I. I didn't know.
It blew my mind.
Yeah.
I think Bo just blew his mind
yeah,
too.
like when we say partner, we mean like they were dating.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Yeah. Apparently, Bill Aucoin and Sean Delaney were together.
Yeah.
I had no idea.
Neither did I.
Never knew.
I've just found out. Yeah. So there we go.
Yeah.
Right.
It just.
We talked about Sean a little bit, how much he had a hand in like the live shows and then practicing.
Yeah, and he like helped get some of their like choreography and stuff.
Exactly. But he's also a great songwriter, honestly.
Yeah.
And so yeah, that's Sean, and he's widely referred to as the 5th member of Kiss. So yeah, I mean, was there anything else that you had in the notes, or
that was one thing I even mentioned to you yesterday when we were talking about like how other sources have kind of come out and said Peter's book is not necessarily the most accurate.
Yeah.
Because I know Paul, Gene, and Ace have all said Gene and Eddie talked Paul into giving Hard Luck Woman to Peter.
Yes, yeah, I did see that.
Yeah, in Peter's book, he claims that he talked Paul into giving him the song.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
From what I've read on various different websites and stuff, is that it was mostly Gene, who was like, dude, we need to give this to Peter because his voice would match it a lot better than not necessarily Rod Stewart, but anybody else in Kiss, and we need to make this a Kiss song.
Right. And that was actually also like the point Peter tried to make in his book about it, where he's like, don't I have a raspy voice too? Like, come on, I can do this.
Right.
So like, I almost wonder if he said something to Paul at one point, and that's where his memory's coming from.
Yeah.
And then Gene did the heavy lifting, and Peter just doesn't realize it.
Right. Because I mean, overall, Paul is probably going to listen to Gene more than Peter, especially at this point.
Yeah. Because I mean, maybe if it were like the first couple albums, Peter might have been able to sway Paul a little more. But I agree, at this point, it was probably more Gene in his ear. Just because that division has really already started.
Yes, sadly.
Yeah. And Paul also makes the comment, and based on some of what they've said about Peter in the past with some of his vocal performances, sadly, I'm going to tend to agree with what Paul said over what Peter said, because Peter almost insinuates that he did it in one take. Really? And that he did the like kind of ad-lib stuff at the end just off the top of his head.
Really?
And Paul kind of, Paul doesn't insinuate. He flat out says it took a lot of takes to get enough to cobble together the finished product. I'm like, I don't know that that's necessarily entirely true. Like I could see them doing multiple
Maybe
takes.
if he was on copious amounts of drugs, then definitely. But,
yeah.
Who knows? Yeah. Was there anything else that you wanted to say?
For the most part, I really think we covered it. Cool. I know Peter gets kind of shitty about like Baby Driver.
Really?
Because he and the guy that he co-wrote Beth with in Chelsea, they wrote Baby Driver. And so I guess he brought in like a cassette tape with that song on it and was like, oh, we should do this song.
Right.
And
which is interesting because when I was reading earlier this morning, it says that it was from their old band Lips, which
him and Stan Penridge might have been in Lips together also, but because I know they were still friends at this point also, but like Lips was the band that he was in before Kiss.
Yeah. So
in between Chelsea and
okay,
Kiss.
gotcha.
Yeah.
So I didn't know that, honestly. I didn't really know that. So I was like, wait, is that a typo or something like that? But that's
and so I know Peter got pissed off because Paul and Gene reworked Baby Driver a little bit.
Really?
And I guess to him, he kind of felt like they were doing it because it wasn't their song.
Yeah.
But according to Paul, it wasn't a song. It was a snatch from a song that they had to flesh out to make a song.
Yeah.
So don't know how true that is. Wasn't there, don't know. But
Yeah,
those are the two sides of that.
cool. I'm gonna just finish up this list of little bullet points that I have real quick before we get into the album artwork. A bunch of songs on this album actually were reworks of some of the demos made back in 1975, such as Ladies Room, Love 'Em and Leave 'Em, and Calling Dr. Love. Which all of those demos you can definitely tell that.
And Dr. Love, I think, is the most blatant one.
Yeah, there's that. So this also does kind of lend to the fact that they went back to their roots a little bit more, because those demos were made before they even started doing stuff for Destroyer, but it was like after their first couple of albums. And let's see here, and then just obviously this is the first Kiss album to not feature any writing credits from Ace, unfortunately, but
I think it's the only one until he leaves too.
really,
Yeah.
Actually, it could be the only one in total. Yeah. No, I think.
Yeah.
Like even over until now. I mean, other than that he's a part of.
Right.
You know. But yeah, that's sad, but it's also nice in some ways, because I know a lot of material that he held back from putting on this record made it to his solo album.
Right. Which there's a whole thing about like the debate between the solo albums that I would rather leave for that episode,
Right.
especially just because, I mean, we're going to run long if I end up going into that.
And then just a little bit about the album and how well it did. The reception to this album was actually really good, which is nice to see. Just pulling up some review scores, it says these are professional ratings, and these are something that I found on Wikipedia. It says All Music gave it a 4 out of 5 stars. Blender gave it a 4 out of 5 stars. Chris Gow's Record Guide gave it a B-. Pitchfork gave it a 7.5 out of 10, and Rolling Stone gave it a 3 out of 5 stars. Rock and Roll Over peaked at number 11 on the Billboard 200, which is awesome. And it got solid reviews across the board, with many people stating that it is one of, if not the most consistent album from Kiss. Consistent in terms of like decent material, sound, and just performances across the board, which I can kind of agree. It sounds like a very cohesive album to me. Yeah,
I would agree. And like, I think between Destroyer, this, and Love Gun, they really, I mean, like it's their hat
This
trick.
run of 3 albums is phenomenal.
Yeah.
Let's see here. And then, yeah, I mean, that's really all I got. I know I think it went platinum in January of 1977, so just over 2.5 to 3 months is all it took for it to go platinum. And I mean, Kiss was on top of the fucking world at this point,
right?
You know, because this is latter end of 1976 going into 1977, and 77 is when it was practically Kissteria.
Yeah, because I mean, 77 they do another 2-album year. Granted, one of them's a studio album.
Yeah,
but
that's pretty much all I got. I'm probably going to go ahead and get into the album artwork if that's cool with you guys. Awesome. We'll be right back. Alrighty. We're back with the album artwork. We're going to go ahead and we do a rating out of 10 to basically see how much we like the artwork for each Kiss album. I got this beautiful vinyl that I bought just like over a month ago of Rock and Roll Over. And we're going to use that to look at the album cover, because it's exactly identical to the one that came out in 76, even though it's a reissue, obviously.
Right.
Which I don't know if I covered that. I actually have one of the first issues of Detroit Rock City, or why the fuck do we do that? We do this shit. Destroyer. Sorry. It's Destroyer. I have one of the first ever out like pressings of the album, because they do it in like chunks, and then like after the first original batch of albums that they send out, they kind of like wait a little bit, and then they do a repress or make more, and then send those out. And you can tell by the number sleeves, or the numbers on the spine of the record. And I looked it up, and I have one of the like first batch of albums, which that probably costs a lot of money. Granted, it's not in great shape. But I think that's kind of cool that it is a little bit worn out, so that's really fucking cool in my opinion. I like that a lot. So anyways, rock and roll over. We got the vinyl right in front of us, or I should say the cover. And yeah, what are you guys' first thoughts? What jumps out to you about this? But go ahead, Bo.
The way they look, obviously, jumps out first.
Right.
Jean's tongue. Peter looks like a jungle cat.
Yeah, I like that a lot.
It's really cool. And then Ace is shooting lasers out of his eyes. I mean,
yeah,
that's really. And then the background on him too is like the jungle, the fire on Jean, and then the space on Ace.
Yeah, and I think Paul has like wings or something.
Yeah.
So, angel wings or whatever. What do you think, Ty?
This has always been one of my favorite Kiss covers, dude. I don't know why it's always been one that I have just adored.
Yes,
and
same.
I love how cartoony it is for the simple fact that they are, these almost fictional
superheroes in a sense. And one thing that sorry, go ahead.
You're good. I
was gonna say one thing that I actually read a little bit earlier today was they all look like deities in a sense.
Interesting.
Like, because like Ace obviously has the laser beams or whatever shooting out of his eyes, and he's in space. And then you have Jean, and like Bo kind of covered this with the flames in the background, Paul with the wings, and then Peter with like the jungle leaves and stuff like that coming out from behind him. It plays to each persona a lot,
which I think is extra served by Jean's pupilless eyes.
Yes,
where it's just the red eyes you'd see staring at you from the darkness in a nightmare.
Yeah, exactly. And his tongue looks like a lizard tongue or like something like that,
Yeah, it's
or
like
a snake.
Yeah. And I don't know. It's always been one I've loved.
Yes, it's so good. This was actually designed by artist Michael Dorette. It's spelled Doret, so I don't know how it's pronounced.
Good Lord.
He would actually go on to do the artwork for Sonic Boom, released in 2009.
Yeah.
Exclusively to Walmart, unfortunately.
I want it on Spotify.
Same. But yeah, and they're very similar. Very similar, which is, I think it's kind of cool.
It's probably one of the reasons I love the Sonic Boom album.
Same.
But no, I even remember this. They had a little like plaque where it was supposed to be like a coffee cup, but inside the coffee cup on the coffee house.
Oh yeah,
like above the door, but inside the cup instead of coffee was that.
Oh really?
Yeah, and so I've always ever since we were kids, I've always loved that image.
Yeah,
but they actually Anthrax did a live album a couple years ago.
Yes.
And they used this artwork as their design, but I mean, they redesigned it to have them in it, and it was like purple and gold instead of this coloring.
Yeah.
I really like the like homage because they are also Kiss fans.
Oh, man, especially Scotty and
yeah.
But yeah, Kings Among Scotland was the name of that. It's a live album, right?
Yeah, and because it was
which I think is interesting because it's a live album and Kiss is known for their live albums,
right? And they the color scheme, of course, purple and gold, colors of a king, because it's on their tour for the For All Kings.
Right. Yeah, man. I love the color on this album cover.
It's
the
so
colors
good.
Are so like the blue Kiss. This is just something that you haven't seen before. And I feel like each album cover is something that you haven't seen before, which I really think Kiss does probably the best out of any 70s band. Their artwork, and that's the thing is I feel like they have an advantage because they do have these like personas and cartoon like characters to kind of like play behind. But dude, I mean, I love that the rock and roll over circles like a saw in a sense, you know what I mean? Or it's like lightning, or somebody described it as like a lightning circle instead of a lightning bolt, which is interesting.
Yeah. I actually, because Garrett pointed out, of course, I'm wearing a shirt with this design on it, and because I've been trying to do that for every episode, even though anyone who listens isn't going to be able to see that.
I noticed it last week too.
It's just a little fun thing I've been trying to do just to see how long I can keep it going.
Yeah.
But this is actually the mask I wear because, of course, you mentioned earlier, of course, COVID.
Right.
I have this mask from their website.
Yes.
It's actually the most comfortable mask I have.
Really?
Yeah. It's really fucking comfy.
Oh man. But yeah, kudos to Michael Doré. Sorry if I'm saying that wrong, but this album cover is fucking awesome.
Oh, it's so beautiful.
I want to go over to Bo. Try and keep this a little bit short. What out of 10 are you going to give this? There's only one correct answer.
A 1 out of 10. No.
Get the fuck out of 0 to that.
Yeah, no, this is definitely a 10 out of 10
Thank
album
you.
cover. I think I gave Alive a 10 out of 10 too, didn't I?
I think you did. I think it was definitely high. I mean, all of their album covers except for Hotter Than Hell have been high pretty much so far.
Yeah, I want to say this because I know you and I both gave Alive 10s.
I gave it a 9.
I think we all gave Destroyer a 9.
I think I gave it a 10.
Did you?
I think I did.
Because I was thinking you gave it a 9, and this was going to be the second week we all said 10s. But I mean, clearly I'm just going to give it a 10 too. I fucking love this cover, dude.
Right. Yeah, same for me. 10 out of 10. For some reason, whenever I think of Kiss album covers, this is like one of probably the one that I go to the most, just because I love it. Ever since I was a kid, it's so cool.
Yeah.
It really is.
And because, of course, we mentioned a minute ago, this run of 3 albums with Destroyer, this, and Love Gun.
Oh, yeah.
Those are the 3 album covers I always think of.
Right.
They're just so iconic to me.
Yes. Yeah. Especially Destroyer, because obviously we talked about that last week, of how iconic that image is. But this, in my mind, is what I think of when I really, think of like a Kiss album cover.
I agree.
So cool. All 10 out of 10s. That's pretty awesome, because I knew we were really looking forward to this album artwork to cover.
I fucking love it so much.
It's definitely, I think it's my favorite one. And I think you guys are going to be getting to your favorites here in a couple albums to release.
This
kind of,
being honest, this is probably my favorite, but if it's not, it's probably going to be one of the next couple coming up.
So, all right, we're going to get ready to break down the track list. Don't go anywhere.
Is everybody ready to get there? Prescription filled? Then I think we better call out Dr. Love!
Alrighty, welcome back, everybody. This is the portion of the show where we break down the track list. I don't know, we might be able to take a little bit of time on this one. I feel like we really did kind of blow through last week's episode.
I mean, it was probably because we'd already done it, we just felt like we didn't need to do as much for it. But
and that's the thing is, like, because we had a lot of problems with our first first 2 episodes, I should say, of like errors and recording and stuff, not recording, and all this different technical difficulties, whatever you want to call them. That like, we had a lot of information that we went through on like the first 2 episodes, or especially the first episode. Yeah, it took us like 3 or 4 tries.
Yeah, it was literally like the 4th try doing the track list. So if you go back and listen to that first episode, anyone that's listening, if you go back and listen, we blow through the track list on that because we'd already done it 3 fucking times. And we were all, I'm not joking, we're all sitting here tired, sweaty, and just like, right. So I mean, we're just like, God damn it, work this time.
Yes. So like, I feel like there's been a couple of episodes where we kind of blow through it. We don't really talk about the instrumentation as much, but there's nothing wrong with it. Some of these songs, it's not like it's a dire need to talk about the instrumentation.
Right. I feel like a little bit last week was more necessary because of the like strings and stuff. You know what I mean?
But, all the different musical elements. But cool. Yeah. Track number 1, "I Want You," written by Paul Stanley. Man, I used to not like this song, and I feel like we say this so often on this goddamn show. But it's like, it's so true, because we used to like completely different songs when we were little, which is normal, obviously. But then when you grow up and you like start to expand your like musical taste and like different genres and subgenres and different styles, it's like, oh, this actually isn't that bad, And not saying that "I Want You" was like a completely different style or subgenre. It was just one of those songs that didn't really.
Yeah, it didn't click with me. It just. I don't know why now, dude. I fucking love this song so much. It's so
the guitars
good.
are so fat, dude. They're so good.
Well, and I think that's one of my favorite parts of anything off this album is after that initial acoustic intro where the chords come in. It's a da-da-da-da, it sounds so thick.
Yes, and I'm glad you talked about the intro part of like the acoustic. It's cool because I feel like they did it on purpose, that they like put this as the first track because I feel like when Kiss fans were like, all right, let's, like the OG Kiss fans, when they got this album, they were like, I feel like it was one of those things where it's like, all right, do or die. If this isn't like the shit that I really like, then I'm not, if they're going the whole mainstream route, then fuck it.
Right.
And they start off with the very soft, like, in the morning, and like, it's,
gotcha.
And then all of a sudden, and it just comes in and it's like fucking heavy ass drums, fucking wailing guitars. Paul's like screaming and shit. And you're like, oh, okay, let's fucking go.
And then Peter broke his 12 string.
Yeah, for real. Man, what do you think, Bo? What, you like this song?
I've always really liked this song. And I remember at some point we both loved this song.
Yeah, we used to play this song at grandma's all the time.
I think she kind of got annoyed
Yeah,
by it.
we had like, dude, we had these drumsticks. One was like a real like first act drumstick, and then there was one that was like a brown with like a rubber tip.
It looked like
It was like a synthetic one.
Yeah.
And so he would always take the drumsticks, and I would have this like play guitar that had like, it was white, and I tried to color it black with a Sharpie because I wanted it to be like more metal or more heavy rock.
Right.
This is when we're like, fucking, I would be like 7, he'd be like 11 or some shit,
Yeah.
or like not even that. Like this was, I mean, that area of our time, but also when we were younger than that, we would just be jamming out to like Kiss Symphony or like anything that was on his iPod, and we would just be acting like we were in Kiss and shit. And this song, I remember you playing this song all the time, and maybe that's why I didn't like it. Maybe that's why, like, as I grew up more and more, I was just like, man, I don't like the song because I've heard it so much,
Because I want to say it was last summer. I was actually re-listening through all their shit, and you jumped in the middle of me doing that, and I was talking about this record. I was just like, man, I never used to like that song. I fucking love it. And you guys both just looked at me and went, I don't. And I was like, what? Come on.
Yeah, but I think it's definitely the case of, it got played too much type thing.
I get that.
But it's a phenomenal song.
I'm sorry, I'm going to sidebar real quick. This has nothing to do with fucking anything. Because you were mentioning we were kids and stuff, like fucking around pretending we were in Kiss.
Uh-huh.
I don't know if you remember this. We used to take a fucking radio, put one of the CDs in it, and you and I would take like these fucking play guitars just like that. Yeah. Get on my fucking trampoline.
Yes.
And we'd sit there as like 5-year-olds with no goddamn shirts on, playing the music, and we're pretending like we're playing it.
Kiss, yeah.
And there was one time where we were doing that, and all of a sudden, just somewhere down the road, like something blew up, and like, don't get me wrong, it's not like a bomb went off or anything, but like something,
loud pop,
it was a really
loud
loud
explosion type thing.
And we both just looked at each other and were like, that was awesome.
Yeah. We're like, oh shit, we're fucking like, cause it like
we're them.
Yeah. Oh man, dude. Yep. I remember getting on the trampoline acting like we were in Kiss and shit, man. This is one of my, like, I feel like I don't appreciate this song enough type thing. Out of all the like the songs that I do like, I feel like this is one of the ones I don't appreciate enough.
I get that.
And I want to, like, dude, Peter's drums in this are so cool. This is where I feel like he carries a little bit of stuff over from Destroyer. I called it Detroit Rock City again. I feel like he brings over a little bit of stuff from Destroyer because of just how, like, different the rhythm is with his drums on this. Because it's, like, a lot of crash cymbals and a lot of, like, fills and stuff like that.
You guys might actually have to correct me on this. Is there phaser on the drums during that? Okay, because I couldn't tell if it was the riff, and so my brain thought it was the drums.
Well, it might be on the drums too during that part, but he definitely does do a lot of phaser on the drums in this album because he did a lot of it on Alive as well. Eddie did,
yeah,
and so that's what makes, like, I think he just loves the phaser or flanger, whichever one they use, because sometimes it's kind of hard to differentiate, especially on that live album, but it's mostly the phaser. But yeah, there's definitely phaser on drums throughout this album. But awesome fucking way to open a album with that soft, acoustic part.
Yeah, it's definitely up there with some of the other first songs from other albums.
Oh, I definitely agree. Yeah, this is a strong start right out of the gate.
Oh, I would say this is arguably the heaviest.
Yeah, I mean,
because Strutter is more, to me, I get disco vibes from Strutter, even though this was before disco kind of really took foothold, in America.
Yeah. I think if you take the bad production off Got to Choose, this is heavier.
Yeah.
But I mean, with the shitty production, it's
it
arguable.
makes it sound right.
But Yeah, no, I think I'd agree. Actually, I agree with you on that, Bo.
Because in that and Detroit Rock City, like that's a pretty heavy song, but it's definitely more
It's definitely
upbeat.
more radio friendly.
Yeah, it's got a little more groove to it as opposed to like I'm gonna punch you in the mouth.
Yeah, this just it literally that's exactly what this track does. It just comes out and punches you in the fucking mouth. All right, we'll go to track number 2, Take Me, written by Paul Stanley and Sean Delaney. We get the first writing credit from him on this album.
Does it actually credit him on the source you're using?
Yes.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yes, it
okay, I
does.
didn't know that.
Granted, it's Wikipedia, so I don't know if they actually.
it's probably been post-edited.
Yeah.
Then.
But yes, this has this is the song that is written by him and Paul Stanley.
Still, I'm glad someone took the time to put him on there.
Yeah, exactly. Give him some love.
Yeah.
Not saying that, Kiss didn't compensate him in any type of way, but it's just nice to know who did help write with these songs.
Right.
I like this song. I really like it when they perform it live because I know they performed it on a couple of shows during Rock and Roll Over tours that I've seen on YouTube.
They also did it for Alive too.
Oh yeah, they did. I forgot about that.
Which, thinking back to it, because this to me has always been that like laughable, cheesy song.
Right.
Just because the lyrics are so raunchy.
Yeah.
But like, I think about it and like, I didn't even realize it was on Alive 2 until recently. I just went, they picked that song?
Right.
But I'm okay with it because I love the song.
I love the guitar riffs in this song. And I don't know. Oh, I want to say, real quick, backtrack to I Want You. We didn't talk about the guitar solos. Really good guitar solos.
Fuck, I actually had something I wanted to mention about that and I forgot. It almost has this thing in the guitar solo where like, and you'll probably know what notes I'm talking about when I say it, but like they almost seem out of time and it makes it sound cool.
Yeah.
Where it's like right before Ace takes the guitar because that part's Paul.
Paul, yeah, he does the first guitar solo and then Ace does the second. But yeah, that guitar solo, I mean, both of them are fucking awesome.
Oh, yeah.
And I think Ace really returns to form with his solos on this album, even though there's quite a few songs that don't really have a long
a lot
solo,
of them are pretty short.
But I Want You has a pretty solid solo section. Take Me is kind of short, but he packs a punch in there.
I like the harmony on the guitar solo on Take Me.
Or wait, is that
because the main guitar solo to it harmonizes where it's the like kind of hammer pull section where it's like and they harmonize that and I like the way it sounds. It is only like 3 bars.
Right, exactly. I don't know, what you got any thoughts on this, Bo?
This was a song I didn't originally like to begin with.
I get that.
Yeah, I remember you saying that and we were like, listen to it again.
Yeah.
I mean,
whenever one of us doesn't like a song and the other two are like, just
check
listen
it out again. Yeah. But like,
other than Ladies in Waiting. I'm going to mention that every single fucking episode.
Man.
Fuck that song.
No, I like the song a lot more now. It's still not one of my go-tos, but
I get that. If I'm being honest, it might be for me, just like if we're just talking about this record, it might be one of my go-tos. I like the song. Dude, I don't know why.
I'm not gonna lie, Sam. I was making my top 3 and I was like, this is a lot harder than I thought it was gonna be. Even though I knew the album was consistent and I really liked the album.
Yeah.
But man. Oh man.
Put
all right.
your hand
Well,
in my
with
pocket.
that being said, we're gonna go to track number 3. And dude. All right. Track number 3, Calling Dr. Love, written by Gene Simmons, formerly Bad Bad Lovin'.
Yup.
Before he reworked it, which you can listen to on the Kiss box set if you have Spotify or Apple Music or anything like that.
Or buy the box.
Or you can buy the box set.
Yeah.
Which, dude, this song is one of my all-time favorite Kiss songs. And I know I've said that about a couple songs, but I love this song. The opening guitar riff, because it's really interesting. It goes from the E to the G to the D to the A.
Yeah.
And it's one of my favorite guitar riffs to play because you can play a bunch of different songs that like use that.
Well, and because that's actually one of my favorites is it's one you've pointed out to me. Line in the Sand, Evolution's theme song.
Yep.
Garrett actually pointed that out to me. It's the same 4 chords.
Yep,
really?
Same 4 chords. And then the chorus in Alive by Pearl Jam, same 4 chords. E to G to D to A.
Which, of course, has another Kiss reference in that song with the guitar solo being She.
She, exactly. Which, and I'm not going to sit here and say Kiss was the first one to do this chord progression. It's a very common progression, but especially with Pearl Jam, it wouldn't surprise me if they kind of, were inspired by that riff as well.
Yeah.
It's just a fun riff to play.
Yeah. And honestly, I'm sorry. Show me a Kiss fan who doesn't like the song, and they're probably not a Kiss fan.
Yeah, dude, this song is so good. And I mean, Peter's drumming with those ghost notes that he does on the snare. Like, we've tried playing this on Rock Band, dude, and we're all like, fuck.
It's needlessly hard for no fucking
It's
reason.
fucking kick drum, dude.
And
It's
you know what, Peter?
I think we
Do the coke, but not to the levels it was going to get to.
Yeah.
Right here's where you're zoned in, dude.
Yes. What were you saying about?
I think didn't we try this the other day on Rock Band 4?
Did we? It was either this or Parasite. Because Parasite has a pretty similar drum pattern to
I
this.
know we did Parasite, but I'm pretty sure we did this one too.
Really?
We might have.
And I was like, fuck.
Yeah.
Trying to keep up.
It's
Yeah, man.
needlessly hard for no
Dude.
fucking reason,
Yeah,
dude.
it's such a solid drum track, though, man. I love it. And then,
Yeah.
Gene's vocals on this are awesome. The only complaint I have is that like weird voice that comes in on the second chorus. They call me Dr. Love. It sounds like it's through like a.
where
I don't
it's
know who it is. Is that Gene?
If I had to guess, probably. I don't actually know, though.
It sounds like maybe it's like Sean Delaney or something, because it just sounds like somebody I've never heard before, and I feel like it sits too prominently in the mix. If it was more in the background, but it overtakes the background vocals of the women who are saying, or I don't know if it's actually women, but
It's Gene and Paul.
is it Gene and Paul just doing falsetto?
Yep.
That's what. All right. They did a really good job, because to me,
Yeah,
there's
they
a couple
fucking
times
did.
where I'm like, that actually sounds like two women.
Yeah.
Which is damn, because I mean, Paul can get there, but Gene has a very low voice. But it sits a little bit too prominently in the mix for me. The second chorus, like guy who's just saying Dr. Love.
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 Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I get where you're coming from. I've always liked it, but it
Yeah.
always does seem like a weird choice.
It seems out of place to me, but that does not hinder this song at all. Like, that's the only complaint I have, but it doesn't hinder it. It's like, I still love this song. Even when that part comes on, I find myself just Dr. Love, like singing with
yeah.
it. Dude, this solo,
Jesus
Yes.
fuck
the
Christ.
solo on this song, Ace at his best, literally at his best. This is my favorite Ace solo, other than maybe Shock Me, which we'll get to next episode.
I don't know that I could flat out just say one, but like, I mean, if you made me, this would probably be one that I put in there.
Yes, dude.
It's so good. And I'm not joking. I bitched about this a couple weeks ago because I just learned the solo recently. And I was getting pissed because none of the sources I had for it were right.
Right.
And so like, I even looked at Layla and I was just like, I just want to fucking learn this guitar solo already. It's just so fucking good.
It really is, man. So good. And it has the perfect amount of like bends, like obviously your pull-offs and hammers and stuff like that. It's not too, it's like really fast in some parts, but where it's really fast, like right after it, he does a like really slow like bend up that just sounds awesome.
That's actually my favorite part of the solo is the
or the same note where he bends up to the note and then he plays that note like right under it.
Yeah, well, and because he does that in the Going Blind solo, which is how I was gonna point out. That's how you know it's Ace,
right?
You know, sorry,
Exactly.
Bob, but no,
yeah,
you know, because he's got the bend where he bends up and then hits the note under it and then releases that bend.
Yeah.
I love that fucking sound, dude. It's just so good.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I guess we could stop fucking gargling its nuts for a second. Move
I
on.
am the doctor of love.
Yeah, dude. And this is
God, cut that.
man. No, we ain't cutting that. I don't know what else to say about it. I guess I'll just move on before I just sit here and think about it more and more and just keep rehashing the same points. But it's so good. All right, track number 4. Ladies' Room, written by Gene Simmons. What do you think, Bo?
I know that me and Tyler have been debating this song for a while.
And you're wrong.
Do you not like it?
I really don't.
Oh, really?
Honestly, like, it's not a bad song. It's definitely not the worst song they have.
Oh, for sure.
Hell no.
But, like,
it's not Ladies in Waiting.
Yes.
I don't really know why I don't like it. It's just a song I don't like.
Yeah.
But it also has a moment that you and I bonded over.
Which one?
The cowbell into the drum roll before the chorus.
Well, that sounds great, but like
it's so fucking good.
Yeah, it's just not one. It doesn't do anything for me.
All right,
it just doesn't.
I can respect it, but dude, it's weird because
I'm just glad he said it doesn't do anything for him, and not that it's bad. Because
the subject matter of this song is ridiculous, but
it's so goofy.
It's another Geneism of just what the fuck are these lyrics?
Have you guys ever seen the roast of Gene Simmons?
Oh, yeah.
Because Lisa Lampanelli was the host for it.
Yeah.
And because she's making fun of some of his stupid fucking lyrics. And Plastercaster's the other one she uses, but she uses this song.
Right.
Because she's just talking and making fun of it. And she goes, "You're such a jewel in the rough. You want to show me your stuff." And I agree. It's fucking stupid.
It really is.
I love it.
Yeah, it's same.
So, such a jewel in the rough is actually a good line.
It is if you don't follow it with "you want to show me your stuff."
Yeah.
Well, and because that's a problem I have that we'll get into with a song later on this album that was also a rework of a previous song.
Uh-huh.
There's some stupid fucking Geneisms on this record.
There really is. Oh man, it's a fun song though. I think I love the chorus.
Yeah,
love the guitar riff under both the verse and the chorus, and the guitar solo. There's not really much of one. He does a lot of those. It's like guitar fills in a sense.
Yeah, where they almost come off more as leads and less as solos.
Yeah. So not much of a solo here. But yeah. Oh, also I did want to say he does the vocals, obviously, bass. Talking about Gene,
right?
And he also does rhythm guitar on this. Yes. So very interesting. Let's see here. I guess we could go to track number 5, which is Baby Driver. And actually on vinyl ends the first half of this album. So yeah, there's not a lot I have to say about this. To me, it's kind of boring in a sense with the guitar riff where it's just a bam, bam, bam.
It feels like they were kind of trying to go for like this sort of bluesy sound, and it just kind of missed. Yeah.
It's written by Peter Criss and Stan Penridge, obviously sung by Peter Criss. I don't know. I kind of like the chorus. I just don't like the verses much, you know.
Yeah.
There's not a guitar solo in this song, and I feel like that doesn't do it any justice, you know, either. Just not much to this song. I don't know. What are you guys' opinions?
No, I mean, honestly, I agree. It was one that I've never really liked, and I appreciate it more now.
Yeah, I like Peter's vocals on it.
Yeah.
That's why I say I like the chorus, and verses is meh. What about you, Bo?
I hate it.
All right.
I really do.
I respect it.
I didn't expect it, but fair. I'm not mad about it.
Peter had such great songs, like, even though Nothing to Lose, his lyrics were really weird or really bad.
Well, I mean, honestly, that's Gene's lyrics for the most part.
The lyrics aren't great on that, but it's still fun. Black Diamond was great.
Oh, yeah.
Like, even Mainline wasn't terrible. It was just serviceable. No. This one.
Yeah. To me, it misses. I feel like, because didn't Peter have a thing where he's like, I want at least one song on the album, right?
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
And then I feel like they probably recorded this one, and then Hard Luck Woman was just like the second song that they were finally convinced Paul to let him sing or whatever. Which not saying he can only have one song, but...
Right. I also feel like it came out of, based on what Paul was saying, he felt like, oh, I brought Beth, so like,
yeah,
here's another of my songs.
Yeah. Are you talking about Baby Driver or?
Yeah,
gotcha.
The difference is Beth also had Bob to help it really, really bad, and
which is interesting because Beth was also written by Stan Penridge as well, and he's also the co-writer on this track.
But like the problem with Baby Driver is it doesn't have that softer feel like Beth does. If it had that, maybe
not even then. I don't know that it delivers the same. You know what I mean?
It doesn't, and that's the thing is it's like because the lyrical content is completely different. But I think what does it a disservice is literally just there's not like it's just one like chord that's just bam bam, 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 on like the upbeat, you know, and it's just like boring to me.
It almost sounds like
It's
the
stale.
rest of the guys didn't want this song on there,
Right.
So they didn't try
They were
as
just
hard.
like, fuck it.
Well, and I mean, this is honestly kind of what makes me think Paul's story for this song might be a little more accurate. That there wasn't that much that he brought in that was
Yeah.
the song, and they had to write around it.
Right. That could be.
And so, I mean, because they had to write a song that they didn't like, this is just what came out of it.
Right. All right. We'll finish up with that track. So let's see here. Track number 6, Love 'Em and Leave 'Em, written by Gene Simmons. And personally, I just wanted to say, did not care for this song. And then you kept like saying that you enjoyed it. So I was like, all right, I got to give it a try again, you know? And I like it a lot more now.
There are things about this song that I really hate,
Yeah.
but I enjoy it.
Yeah.
It just, especially right at the beginning, it has one of my least favorite fucking things I've ever heard come out of Gene's mouth.
What's that?
The "see you tonight." It's so fucking obnoxious.
Yeah, that part.
And like, granted, I mean, I was trying to be obnoxious with it, but I can't sing anyway. But Jesus Christ, it's just like the way he does it. It's just like someone just put a cock in that guy's mouth.
Someone put a cock in that guy's mouth.
Sorry, I'm making an old George Carlin joke. It was meant to be a joke for these guys, but
No, I agree, man. That part definitely just meh. But I will say, I do like the guitar work in this. I really
like the
do.
guitar
That's
work
what
a lot
makes
in this
it
song.
enjoyable for me.
And I like the foil between the verses and the chorus of how different they sound. You know what I
Right.
mean? And
Sorry if you guys
there's
heard
that fucking
Yeah.
truck.
Right. Sorry, there's this truck that drives by my house every single fucking day when we try and do this goddamn episode.
Literally every single time.
Yeah.
What was it? Oh, this was the other song where I was talking about the Genisms.
Yeah.
Jesus fucking Christ. I've got a stiff proposition. Yeah.
Right.
No shit. It's just like, it's.
And it also has the genism of we're going to repeat the chorus like 18 times.
Yeah. But okay, it's got another set of those lyrics that I think is just kind of dumb.
What's up?
It's leading into the first chorus. It's got the "you lift your dress, you want to impress."
God.
There's one thing I have to confess. I'm like, I get the rhyming, but like,
Yeah.
did you really? You lift your dress, you want to impress? Like, come on, dude. It's just so
Yeah.
raunchy.
Man, but it's raunchy, but also I can enjoy this song because of the guitar work. Other than I don't really care for the guitar work in the chorus because of how it follows the.
I like the way it meshes with his voice.
Yeah,
And like, I like how his voice sounds on the chorus.
I can appreciate that. I just for me, I don't really like the chord changes of it. You know what I mean?
That, yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. Do you have any opinions on this, Bill?
Not really.
Yeah, it's just one of those songs that's like one that I would probably skip if I'm like wanting to listen to Kiss songs. But if it comes on, I mean,
Right.
I'll listen to it.
Yeah, like listening to it in the context of the whole album for this episode.
Yeah,
I'm fine with it.
exactly.
But like, it's rarely going to be one I go out of my way to put on.
Right. Cool. All right, we're gonna go to track number 7. Mr. Speed, written by Paul Stanley and Sean Delaney. Again, great. They actually write some solid stuff together. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
I love this guitar riff. It is so good, and I know that you didn't really like. It's not that you didn't like the song; you just didn't really listen to it much.
This was another one where I'm just like, you tell me the name of the song, I can't tell you anything about it.
Right.
And you guys both just looked at me and went, go back and fucking re-listen to this song. You're right. I don't know why that's a constant thing with us, but
Yeah.
for some reason, one person either doesn't like it or just and the other two are just go back and re-listen to it.
Right. He listened to it so much that in fact, or not listened to it so much, but liked it enough to actually learn it. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
because didn't I surprise you with that the other night?
Yes.
Because I was sitting there playing when he walked in, and I looked at him and I went, hey. I just started playing the riff to this at the beginning.
Right.
He just goes, all right.
Hell yeah. I know you brought up the lyrical content of this.
Yeah, and because I was talking to Garrett about this yesterday while I was doing some stuff at work, and the lyrics are weird on this one. Like, I think they were going for one thing, and it just comes off an entirely different way.
Yeah.
Because, like, I'm sorry, I'm so fast, that's why the ladies call me Mr. Speed. So you're good at quickies? Is that what I'm getting out of this?
Good at quickies, and then so there's that you can look at. There's the obviously like I move on from one lady to another, but then ladies wouldn't love you if you did that. So what I think he's also trying to say is he's fast at making girls come. Not the fact that he's fast at coming, but he's fast at making, girls climax and shit like that. So
which is probably accurate, but for whatever reason I hear it and that's not where it comes. Yeah. That's not where it comes. But it
don't get into the fucking puns. Anyways, moving on. No, just kidding. Let's see. You guys are trying to think of some right now, aren't you?
A little bit.
But this song is pretty solid. Honestly, man, I can't place the guitar solo. Is there?
I want to say there is, but I don't think it's very intense. Yeah. It's another one where there's brain broke. Nope.
All right, so we just got done listening back to the guitar solo, and there's not much there, like you said.
Yeah.
It's not like flashy, but it serves the song well, I think.
And I like the bends at the beginning.
Yeah.
It's very like, I think I've said that on a previous one where Ace kind of had some bends like that in a solo where it's very kind of Clapton-esque.
Yeah.
But I like it.
I don't know. Do you have anything you want to say about this, though? I feel bad because we just keep going on about guitars.
Yeah, the drums on it sound good too. But,
yeah, same.
No, I really do like the song. I've liked the song for a while, so
it's pretty solid. All right, track number 8, "See You in Your Dreams," written by Gene Simmons, and sorry, Bo, but I do want to talk to Ty about this a little bit.
Okay, I don't really care about this song either. So.
I actually like this song, and I feel like you even said it too the other day.
I said that to you yesterday, where literally I was in the back, like playing this album while I was doing stuff, and I clicked this song, and I went, I clicked it because this is one I could never think of, and as soon as it started playing, I started singing the chorus in my head, and I'm like, oh, that's right. Mm-hmm. And for whatever reason, like going into it, I was like, fuck that song. And I'm sitting there listening to it, and I went, oh, I like this now.
Yep.
The day before we do the episode.
Yeah. And I remember you were like, shit, I'm like, that one day, because you had walked into work, I didn't say a single word because I was making a pizza. You went over and you started making a list or whatever. You were doing something over by the counter. And I just walk up and I start playing the solo because it's the exact same little solo riff he does in, what is it? Song that we just covered.
It's Lover All I Can, right?
Lover All I Can. And then he also does it in Cold Gin. I don't know if you've ever noticed that.
In the live version
where
where it's the kind of fluttery shit.
Yeah, he loves doing it.
Yeah.
And I just played it and I was like, God damn it. I like the solo, and I like that he doesn't do the exact same thing. But it's really, I think it's a good song. I think overall it's pretty solid.
Yeah. I like it more now. I will say though, it does, you saying that with the Lover All I Can, why is that the song where Ace just keeps going back to the well to pull shit from?
Right.
Because it's got a similar idea to Rocket Ride. I don't know why Lover All I Can is the song that he keeps going back to pull ideas from. But now that we love Lover All I Can, I'm fine with it.
Oh yeah, he does it in Rocket Ride too, doesn't he?
Yeah. Well, and especially the beginning part to the guitar solo of Rocket Ride, where it's the
yeah.
He's got a similar idea in. Granted, he kind of does it at the end of Take Me also, but he's got that similar idea in Lover All I Can.
Right. Man. But yeah, I think this is a pleasant surprise for me listening back through it. I'm like, wow, I actually like this song,
I think so too.
So you're saying we'll have to go back and re-listen to this song?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Gotcha.
Yes, honestly. Go back and listen to every song. Ladies in Waiting included.
I will listen to that song nonstop.
I will chop my ears off.
Yes. Same. All right. Track number 9, Hard Luck Woman. Written by Paul Stanley, which he intended to give to Rod Stewart, which I think is really interesting that he was on a level of friendship that he was just going to write him a song, or granted, Kiss is arguably the biggest band in the U.S. at this point.
Right.
Like, in terms of just popularity and because I mean, isn't it 1970s? Granted, was it 19? It was 1977's Gallup poll that like Kiss was like the most popular band in America
In the world.
or in the world, yes, because
Yeah.
they overtook like Led Zeppelin or something, and everybody was shitting their pants, or all the music critics were.
Destroyed Zeppelin.
Yeah.
It wasn't even fucking close.
And yeah, dude, it's they I just think it's interesting that they as in Kiss and Paul Stanley were, you know, like at that level where they could just be like, oh yeah, we're gonna write a song, or Paul at least was gonna be like, yeah, I'm gonna write this song for Rod Stewart or something,
Right.
you know.
Especially of all people, Rod Stewart.
Yeah, but
like
I mean,
it seems like a weird combination.
It really is, but when you think about it, this and what's that hit from Rod Stewart? Is it Maggie
May.
Maggie May, yeah, like very similar in song structure and like the sonic spectrum of like guitar, like the 12-string guitar, and like the way that it's finger picked and everything.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if it's finger picked, but you know, the picking pattern, I should say.
Yeah. And I guess I haven't had the chance to listen to the song yet, but I guess the lyrics for Hard Luck Woman were actually inspired by a song. I think the name of the song was like Brandy or something like that.
Really?
The band is called Looking Glass.
Oh, really? Okay.
Mhm. And like never heard of them, never heard of the song, but I was just like, I mean, I'll have to at least try to get around to that at some point. I just haven't yet.
Wow. So yeah, basically Gene and Eddie convinced, and I guess Peter in some way, convinced Paul to keep it and let Peter sing it. And I'm not gonna lie, I love this song. I really do. I'm not gonna say it's my favorite, but it has like a weird special place in my heart, because like
I get that.
I used to not really care for it because I was like, oh, it's not heavy, dude. What the fuck? But like, it's a beautiful song. It really is.
Right.
And I love the lyrical content of it. Peter does a phenomenal job.
See,
with the
I
vocals.
almost think the lyrics are why I don't like it, is because
Really?
I don't like sad stuff.
Oh, okay.
I like the blues because it's sad, not necessarily like in the same way.
Yeah.
It sounds hypocritical, and I get that, but like,
No, I understand. I feel like blues is more like down on your luck type thing. Like,
yeah.
Whereas this is like a legitimate sad story, and like it's got a little bit more like atmosphere to it.
Yeah, and like it's less of like this is what's happening with me, and more of just like peace out.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's part of why I don't like it as much. And because, like, don't get me wrong, I can acknowledge it's a good song. I used to like it.
Oh, really?
I think I'm at the point with that, and then just I've heard it a lot.
Yeah.
Clearly everyone else fucking loves it too. If you look at the plays on Spotify,
Yeah, it's
good.
It's the second most on this album.
Oh, that's nuts.
You know what blows my mind is that Mr. Speed has more than a couple other songs on this record that I
Yeah.
wouldn't expect it to.
Damn, almost like a million, almost 2 million. Shit, or almost a million. It's definitely a million. I'm stupid. I don't know how to fucking read numbers. It's only a million. Shut the fuck up. God damn, if my math was correct.
What is it?
God damn. Anyways.
What is it about this record and mouths?
Dude, oh my goodness.
What is it that every time we do this podcast, we somehow mess up some
Oh,
sort of thing?
God damn, dude. I can't read numbers. Fuck this shit. I'm out. Yeah, dude. It's just I like the song a lot. It's very, I know this is one of the songs that's like a go-to for radio stations to play, like
Mhm.
like
Yeah.
70s on 7, which is a Sirius XM channel. My mom listens to it all the time. They play a lot of like Beth and Hard Luck Woman because they're more like pop, you know.
Fair.
I'm surprised they don't throw Forever on there too.
Yeah. Well, the
that's
70s,
80s.
yeah. Or is Forever 80s or is it 90s?
89.
God, I always think that's off of when did Hot in the Shade come out? Was it 89?
I'm pretty sure it was 89.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. I thought it was like 90 or 91. No, because Revenge came out in 92, right?
Hmm.
Wow. Anyways, I digress.
I digest.
Yeah. Do you have anything you want to say about this?
This is where I think Tyler's wrong now. I don't.
Uh-oh.
No.
Sorry, I heard it a lot. I'm not trying to say it's overplayed. I'm just saying I'm tired of hearing it.
Right.
No, man, I kid, but I
You're
do
good.
like this song. And I like the drums. They're not as heavy
Yeah.
like as normal, but they obviously fit the song.
Yeah, and that's
And-
something that's kind of hard when you talk about like a ballad, because I consider this a ballad, is like getting
Yeah.
the drums to match well, you know, especially for a 70s.
This
ballad.
actually, okay, you bringing up the drums made me think about that, and it's what's going to make me sound stupid now.
What's that?
Because I just said I'm tired of hearing it because I've heard it a lot.
Uh-huh.
I'm not joking. When I was prepping for this episode, the first time I listened through the album, I went, oh, yeah, there's no drums in this song. Hi-hat snare. And I went, wait. Because in my brain, I hear that and I go, oh, yeah, that sounds awesome. But for whatever reason, I was sitting there and I'm like, oh, yeah, there's no drums in this song. Wait. I just,
Threw you off.
yeah, I don't even know where my brain went. And I
No,
was just like, oh, there's no drums in the
There-
song. Of course there
I
are
feel
fucking
like-
drums in the song. It's one of my favorite parts of the song.
I feel like what it is
They're turned down.
yeah,
A little bit.
They're definitely turned down a little bit. They're not as like, he's not hitting as hard for like what
Right.
a rock. But I think what it is to me is I always think of this has the same like tonal balance of what Beth does when they play it live with an acoustic guitar. That's what gets me. But there's no drums in it, and that's what I always think. I'm like, because I was kind of on the same like page as you, where I was like, is there drums in this? When I was going back to re-listen to it, and then I was like, oh shit, yeah, there is.
And because
I was like, I knew there was drums, but I was like, I didn't realize there was this much or something. I don't know.
yeah, and because that's actually my favorite part of the song is that little hi-hat clap in between the break.
Yes.
That's my favorite part of the song. And for whatever reason, I just went, oh, there are no drums in the song.
That's funny. It's just a brain fart, I guess.
Yeah.
But what were you saying?
Yeah, obviously they're turned down and he's not hitting them as hard. So that way it can fit with like the acoustic
Yeah.
sound of the guitar and everything.
Because there's
and-
not any electric on this, is there?
I
don't think
so. And it just makes it sound a lot better. But I mean, it's still a good song. It's not one of my favorites,
Really?
but
We'll just go ahead and move on to the last track, track number 10, Making Love by Paul Stanley, written by Paul Stanley and Sean Delaney. Another good song, and I know me and you talked about it.
Whoa.
The lyrics, man, they're just a little too...
And you know what's weird is this is a song we listened to as kids and have loved ever since we were kids.
Yes.
And it's only been this last week where I listened to it and went,
I started like getting the weird feel of it like the last like couple of years that I would listen to it. And
Oh,
I'm like,
really?
yeah, and I'm like... And like I always like was like maybe because all right, one of the lyrics is like where it's like she says stop, go, go, go. But
Yeah.
I think, and it's just it comes off weird. But in my mind, I hope it means like she's like, oh, stop it type thing,
Right.
you know, where she's like playing
or
around,
like maybe being a little like bratty, quote
Yeah,
unquote. You know what
like,
I mean?
teasing type thing. But
Yeah.
I don't know. It gives a weird vibe. But dude, the music to this song
It's so good.
so killer. And to give credit to Eddie, this is where and I know like I don't like trying to say that Kiss was trying to sound like Led Zeppelin here, but this is like the closest they come because this is very reminiscent of what Communication Breakdown, right?
Yep.
And I even get hints of Whole Lotta Love as well.
Yeah, a little bit.
With the even like the where the guitar is played at, because it's on the open E and then the E power chord that's right there on the A and D strings, you know,
Right.
where they kind of do a lot of the rhythm stuff at. And Eddie obviously produced Led Zeppelin 2, which the first track off of Led Zeppelin 2 is not Whole Lotta Love. The fuck is it called?
Is it not Whole Lot of Love? For some reason, I was thinking.
Yeah, it's Whole Lotta Love. I'm thinking of Whole Lotta Rosie. God damn it. I was like, what the
A
fuck?
Whole Lot of Roses.
Yeah, Whole Lotta Love, obviously. Man, it
Which
just had a major
I'm
brain
pretty
fart.
sure that album came out this year also, 76.
No shit.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, because I want to say that was Let There Be Rock.
Yes.
And that, I'm pretty sure that also came out in 76.
Damn. But yeah, I love the music in this. A fucking phenomenal guitar solo from Ace. Overall, great song, except for the lyrical content here and there. I don't know. What do you guys think?
you guys pretty much covered it.
Yeah.
Like you said, I mean, The guitar solos on is great. The riff on it's good. Even the bass sounds good on it.
Yeah, I think so too.
I mean,
which we haven't really talked about the bass playing much on this album, but it's good. It's not anything crazy though, I wouldn't say.
Right.
It's like we always say, serviceable, you know.
And the drums hit hard on here.
Drums on this song are awesome, especially during the chorus where it's a lot of boom, where it's like it sounds like he's just hitting random shit, but it works. You know what I mean? Because it's not really a like consistent like hi-hat with like a snare, like a crash with a snare, like a ride with a snare. It's just like he's just, you know, hitting like a tom and a snare and then a crash and a tom and a snare, and it's really cool, the pattern. I don't know, man. I mean, if you guys have anything else to say about it, go ahead. But I mean, I don't have anything else to say about the song other than it's a solid song, man.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think you guys said it perfectly.
This song is a perfect example to me of why I wish some of the lyrics were better.
Yeah, same.
Because like I love this song so much.
Yeah.
But the lyrics hold it down.
Yeah, I can understand that. I think to me the lyrics that hold it down are the parts where he says like she says stop baby go 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 or whatever. Or maybe that's the live part that he says baby, but still it's just like that definitely is like but other than that I don't think the lyrics are too awful.
No,
you know?
I mean
it's just sex and rock and roll, you know, sex, drugs, rock and roll. That's what a lot of their lyrics come down to. All right. Well, that was the track list. We definitely spent a lot of time on that, but I'm not upset. I really did want to kind of go a little bit more in depth.
Yeah, I'm glad we kind of gave this album the little bit of love it deserved.
Yeah, because I feel like even though a lot of Kiss fans do like it, I feel like it gets overshadowed by the behemoth that is Behemoth. The mammoth is Behemoth. What is Behemoth?
Yeah.
Okay. The behemoth that I can't even fucking think. I was like, Behemoth. Wait, that's a band name of fucking Behemoth, right?
Yeah, no, yeah. Behemoth is a metal band. But.
Yeah, and then I was like, no, that's a fucking word. I can't English. I can't math. You know, all I can do is listen.
Well, if my math is correct, we like this album.
Yes. Anyways, you have the behemoth of fucking Destroyer, and then you have the colossus of Love Gun. No, I'm just kidding. But you have those giant two albums.
Yeah, and I mean,
then you have Rock and Roll Over right in the middle of it.
Yeah, it's kind of unfortunate it gets sandwiched right in between them, but I mean, they're all three so good.
Oh,
dude.
yeah, dude. Which I've always thought, and we'll talk more about it next week on Love Gun. I've always said Destroyer is like a great album. It's mainstream, it's pop, really cool. Rock and Roll Over is them returning to their roots. And then I feel like Love Gun is them blending Destroyer and Rock and Roll Over into one album, because you have that hard rock sound on like I Stole Your Love and Shock Me type thing. And then you have Love Gun, which is an anthem song, you know.
Well, and then one of my favorites that's super wacky and I love it. And I've actually heard people recently refer to it as God of Thunder Part 2. Fucking Almost Human, dude.
Oh, yeah.
And it's got like bongos and shit in it.
Yeah.
It sounds fucking goofy and I love it.
So it's gonna be fun to break that one down.
I'm super excited for next week.
Yeah, it's gonna be awesome.
We haven't had one so far until other than Dress to Kill that I haven't been excited.
Even then, I was still looking forward to that one.
I was, but it was more of like being able to talk with you guys about it and less of like the album. Like, I mean, they just have so much good shit in their early years, dude.
Keep in mind, we're getting closer and closer to the 80s, and this is going to be a rough one.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, boy. And if you think we're biased, just wait, because I will shit all the fuck over some of those albums.
Oh, yeah. Alrighty, guys. Cool. That wraps it up for the track list, and we're going to go to our 3-in-1. We'll be right back. Alrighty, guys. Welcome back. We are doing the 3-in-1 portion of our show, where we pick 3 songs ranked 1, 2, and 3 from the album, and then discard one song just to make it a little bit better. Not saying that we don't like the song, but yeah. So I'm gonna start with Bo this week, and mostly because I haven't talked to you as much about it, and I know like you kind of talked to me. You didn't tell me your top 3, but you just said like, "Oh, I don't know," you know, type thing. But anyways, Bo.
My top 3,
yeah.
Calling Dr. Love. Okay. I Want You and Making Love.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Respect. All right, go ahead. Ty.
Copy paste.
No shit.
Dr. Love, I Want You, Making Love.
I think this is the first time me and Tyler has agreed on a top 3.
in the same
Same
fucking
order.
order too, dude.
I have Dr. Love, I Want You and Making Love. It's awesome. Oh, that was awful. We gotta do it again. There we go. When you said that, I was like, damn. And then you said copy paste. I was like, what the fuck? Dude, that's
now let's
amazing.
see if we can get the one too.
All right.
One discard.
Yep.
Baby Driver.
Fuck, I'm going Baby Driver also.
I'm going Baby Driver too. Holy fuck. Dude, that's amazing. I'm not even like joking. I've had these typed up since earlier this morning. Dr. Love, I Want You, Making Love, and then Baby Driver.
I was between Making Love and Mr. Speed, but
Which is fair.
Yeah. Yeah, Mr. Speed was one of mine. And also, dude, Ladies Room, I was thinking of putting somewhere up in there. I know it was interesting because I know you said Hard Luck Woman was probably going to be your one discard.
It just because I'm so tired of hearing it, because I do like the song.
Right.
I just,
and
it's
then
one
this
that I
morning
listen
when
to
you were
a
listening to
lot.
Baby Driver, you're like, fuck this song.
Basically, yeah. And because that's what I'm saying. I went through the full spectrum with that song in the course of a week. And fucking Bo, last night at work, Garrett and I were talking, and I was like, I really like, it was before I mentioned Hard Luck Woman, but I was like, I really don't know what I'm going to put as my one. And he goes, okay, better not be Mr. Speed. And I was like, no, I like that song now. And he goes, I can't even remember.
No,
but
I think it was
a couple. Oh,
no,
it was
I think what it was I said that one for the discard, but then you also said, I don't know what I want to make my top three. I think I'm going to have to leave one off of my top three that we all really enjoy or something. And I was like, it better not be Dr. Love.
That's what it was. Yeah, and no, because he just looks at me. He's like, it better not be Dr. Love. I was like, oh, no, of course not.
Dr. Love.
yeah, I figured that would have been our top song
All across the board.
regardless.
Yeah, I'm not at all surprised. I just think it's funny that we unanimously had the same 3 in 1.
All right, man, that's awesome. All right, guys. I'm not even going to take a break. We're just going to roll right into the out of 10 rating certified refresh rating. I don't fucking know what I call it anymore. Fuck it. Bo, actually, since I started with you on both of those, I'm going to go to Ty. Out of 10, what are you going to give this album?
I'm gonna give it a 10. I like this record so much.
It is so good, man.
For as much as I am now back on the train of fuck Baby Driver, dude,
Yeah.
I like this album so much.
Same. It's like, I feel like the weight of it's the most consistent Kiss record in my opinion, other than maybe the first record.
And I think that's why I like it so much.
Yeah.
It's just even the lowest point isn't bad.
Right.
Kind of, but
Yeah, but even then I can still listen to Baby Driver and not be like, I hate this song, but just like I'm listening to it, I'm like, meh.
right.
What about you, Bo? Out of 10?
I'm gonna have to give it a 10 too.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm giving it a 10 out of 10. This
Hell
this is our
yeah.
first album where we literally gave the exact same across the board.
For all of our scores.
Artwork, fucking same 3 in 1, which is insane. Exact order.
Yeah.
And the same fucking certified rating. Dude, that's nuts. Wow. This is a fun episode. I'm not gonna lie.
I really enjoyed this one a lot more than I thought. Because
Right.
like I
We
was
were
excited
worried.
to do this one, but literally, I'm not joking. Garrett and I last night, and we have a bad habit of doing this, and we're just gonna have to stop fucking saying it.
Right.
Where I looked at him, I'm like, I really don't know how long this episode's gonna be. Like, we're
Every
gonna have a
time.
short episode tomorrow.
Yeah.
And every fucking time
It
we
just
say
gets
that,
longer and longer.
yeah, no, because we're almost at 2 goddamn hours now, dude.
I'll probably edit it down a little bit to where it's like an hour and 45-ish if I can. But
Right.
honestly, I don't think I'm going to be able to find much to edit out because I want a lot of it in there, you know?
Yeah.
Right? Oh, man. Dude, I'm telling you, this album has quickly become one of my favorites of all time.
Yeah.
Like, from Kiss, because I mean, I know I gave Destroyer a 10 out of 10, but that was a lot of like the overall impact of it. I think I gave it a 10 out of 10, but
I want to say you gave it a 9 or a 10.
yeah, it was either one of those two, but I think maybe it's on the first time we recorded the episode that I gave it a 9 or a 10, and then the, vice versa on the second time we recorded.
That could be.
But dude, no, this album is fucking awesome, man. Overall, yeah. Any last comments on it for you guys?
I love it, and I have thoroughly enjoyed this morning.
Oh yeah, same.
I love it a lot more than I used to.
Yeah,
It is in my top 5,
really.
but it's not my top. I think it's probably my top 3.
Really?
of all time. But
I actually even mentioned last night at
Wow.
work with Garrett where I was talking about like top 5 albums.
Mhm.
I didn't really get too far into it, honestly, because I even told him like I'd probably have to pick 6 because I view 2 of them as basically mirror albums.
Mhm.
This is one of my top.
Yeah.
It,
Same.
I love this.
I agree. I really do. Yeah, this was actually a really fun episode. I guess as always I'll do my little spiel at the end, but if you guys haven't listened to any of the previous episodes, go ahead and check those out either after you're done listening to this one or before we release the next one. We try and release every Tuesday, but recently we haven't stuck to the schedule, and I apologize on my end. I got a little lazy when I got back from Florida. Didn't edit the Destroyer episode, and we also had to re-record it. And then also, I know, Ty, you're going to be going out of town here within the next couple months or something like that.
Yeah, I don't have a definite time frame on it yet, but
Yeah.
there is definitely going to be a week where I'm not going to be able.
So, it's right now, unfortunately, it's a little inconsistent, but we're going to try and get back on track for the most part. So, if you haven't already, check out last week's episode, Destroyer. We go into the details of how that was made and all that different stuff, track list, breakdown, certified ratings, album artwork rating, 3-in-1, all that different stuff that we usually do. And then we also do it for the previous 4 episodes before that one. So yeah, we hope you guys like this episode. Be sure to check back next week when we cover the 1977 hit album Love Gun.
I'm just going to give you a little preview of what's coming next week. I already know Bo and I are going to have a fight, and he's going to do it just to antagonize me.
Let's go.
Because I know he doesn't.
beefing.
I know he doesn't genuinely feel the way he's going to sit there and devil's advocate for,
Yeah.
but he's just doing it to fucking try to get my goat, and it works. I'm going to punch him in the mouth with his microphone.
Alrighty. Well, thanks for listening, guys. If you're still listening at this point, we holy shit are at 2 hours now, 2 hours and 3 minutes, at least before editing. So yeah, man, what a long episode. Did not think it was going to take this long, but I think this was probably one of the most fun ones, other than maybe Dress to Kill. Dress to Kill was a fun episode just because
We kind of shit on it.
yeah,
a
we
little
shit
bit.
on it a little bit, but it's always fun to shit on things. But I don't want to be like one of those people that's like, hell yeah, we shit on, this
Right.
album. We're cool. We're music critics. But
Which I didn't realize. Apparently, a lot of people love that fucking album.
dude, it's
It
nuts.
blows my mind.
It's
Because
nuts.
I've heard people even say, like, yeah, it's the best of their first 3. And I'm just like, how drunk are you?
Out of maybe Rock and Roll All Night is the most popular, but huck out of here with the best, man.
Right. I don't know, dude.
Who knows? But
you can't beat that original album.
I think Hotter Than Hell's my favorite out of those first 3.
Yeah.
It's so consistently good
yeah,
that even my least favorite song off that record isn't bad.
right.
It's just not as good as the rest of the album.
Damn. Well, if you guys want to hear more of those opinions, you guys go ahead and check out those fucking episodes.
Wow, that was a perfect
Share it.
plug, and I don't
Right.
even think we were aiming for that. It just worked
No.
out so well.
Yeah, same. So definitely check out those albums. Like I said, thanks for listening, guys. We hope to see you next week. And yeah, for myself, for Ty and Bo, we will catch you next time. See you guys.